Welcome back to the video, guys. Nice to see you. Today we're going to talk about an alternative to maybe retiring in, Hua Hin or in Thailand. Another option for you. So we're going to go through that today. So a lot of people, are really worried when they come over to Thailand. They're not sure if they can afford the medical insurance. They're not sure if they want to live permanently in Thailand. So today we're going to talk about another option, and that option could be, instead of retiring at 50 or 60, split your time between the two. And I think a lot of guys are doing this at the moment. They have decided that they don't want to stay in Thailand permanently. They want kind of a base in the UK or America, and then they fly over once, twice a year and stay over here for, extended periods of time, maybe 2 months, 3 months. Not everyone is going to be able to do that either. That is a bit more money to do that, because you've still got to, keep your house at home. You still got to leave the heating on, especially in the UK. You still got to pay the council tax and all that. But it could be another option for someone who's not sure about coming to Thailand. They love Thailand, but they don't know if they want to live here permanently. And they're a bit worried about, making the big commitment. I think that's it's a really good second option, and I think many people are doing this now. Hope you're enjoying today's video, guys. Just do us a favor. Don't ask many favors. Just press the subscribe button. Just help us out. Thanks. And back to the video. Come during the winter months, maybe for a couple of months, go back home for a couple of months, then come back out again for a couple of months during the winter, and then spend most of the summer back in the UK, because the summer in the UK is really nice. If I had the choice of being able to spend in Thailand the summer or the UK, I would probably go to the UK. I mean, I really love the months of June, July, August, September. I mean, it's really can be, or May, June, July, August, them months can be really nice, especially in the south of England, and maybe not so much in the north of England, but it depends on your luck a little bit. Especially 2 or 3 months in the summer, June, July, August. I think, it is a great place to live during them months. But unfortunately, if you live in England, you're there for the other 8 months where it's raining, especially if you're from Stoke, where I am. Because there's a big decision when you come over to Thailand. It's a big decision to live here permanently. I mean, it's very different living here for a couple of months and then living here permanently, year round, things. I've been over in Thailand for 12 years. I mean, there's times where I'm like, I could do with a break. I want to change something. That's why I'm doing something different at the moment. But, sometimes you want to break when you're permanently somewhere for a long period of time. Sometimes you get bored a little bit. And I think that's going to happen wherever you are in the world. Thailand, Australia, England. You're always going to get bored if you spend like 10 years in one country. So this is a good solution for the, if you're really worried about the medical insurance, this is a good solution to that, because you're still on the NHS, because you're spending most of your time in the UK still. So you're still going to be able to have, full health care. Yeah, you might need some health insurance when you go over for a month or two. Or you could just risk it if it's just a month or two. I mean, that's totally up to yourself, and look at the prices of that. But obviously it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper just getting like a holiday insurance. It would be basically going over for a month or two at a time. It would also get rid of the hassle of people getting pensions in the UK now. If you live permanently abroad, there's a bit of hassle with the UK and the pensions not going up every year. So it would avoid that as well, because you're spending most of your time in the UK and the money's going to be going into your UK bank account. So it's like you're still living in the UK permanently. So it would get rid of that problem as well. I mean, there's swings and roundabouts to it. There's some good things about it and some bad things about it. So you have to just weigh up the pros and cons and think to yourself, is this a good alternative for me? Because it's all individual. I can talk and say, oh, this is great for me, but it doesn't mean it's great for you. You have to look at your own situation and how it suits your situation. If you're, you're a 70-year-old guy and you got really bad health condition, then, it's difficult to get medical insurance. It's going to cost you an absolute fortune if you're in Thailand all the time. Then, well, it might pay you to, stay in the UK and just holiday in Thailand, maybe a bit less, just 2 or 3 weeks at a time, even less probably. That might be a better option for you. You're also going to have, more family support if you stay at home a lot of the time. So you're going to have more support from your family. You're going to be able to see your family a lot more. You won't cut complete ties from your family, which does happen if you go abroad. It is hard to see your family, especially as you get a bit old. You can't fly back all the time. So, you know, and they will come and visit the first year or two, but then it kind of just fizzles out. Trust me, that's what happens, because people can't afford, or they can't get time off work, or it's difficult sometimes to fly out, especially the other side of the world like Thailand is from the UK or the States. If you did this, you know, come over for a couple of months at a time, you could, you know, just rent a place for a couple of months. I mean, there are places where you can get like monthly rents. They are few and far between, a lot less than there would be for the other ones, but you can still do it. You can pay hotels and stay there for a month sometimes. So there are different options, Airbnb and all that now. One factor that a lot of people don't consider, I mean, it didn't bother me till I've been in Thailand, you know, maybe 4 or 5 years, and then suddenly it started bothering me a bit. You know, you do get a bit homesick now and again, you know, you do fancy some of your own kind of home comforts or your home kind of culture a little bit, the people you kind of crave a little bit sometimes, and especially the weather. I mean, it sounds a bit ridiculous, but you know, I'm from the UK, I'm from Stoke, and you know, for 4 or 5 years I never really thought about it. I was like, yes, this is the best place on earth, it's hot, it's sunny year round, you know, it is great, and most of the time it is great. But like where I lived a long time around Bangkok, and you know, the temperature never drops below 32 degrees. I mean, it's absolutely red hot every single day. And when you go into work in that, I mean, I was working during that time as well. It does start to get to you a little bit, you know. It's like, whew, it's a bit warm, you know. Like the rain starts to piss you off in England, you know, the sun starts to piss you off in Thailand. Now, this doesn't happen straight away. This is like after years and years and years and years living here. You know, you do want a break. And now I'm living somewhere else at the moment, so it's like, and it's quite nice. It's a little bit, at the moment it's summer, so it's red hot, but you know, it is a little bit cooler here at certain times of year. During the winter especially, it's a lot cooler, so it's a lot nicer like that. So it's been a nice change for me. I've really kind of enjoyed the cooler climate for a bit, because I've just had so long in Bangkok. That's why I think it's a good thing to mix up, you know, spending certain amount of time in Thailand and then a certain amount of time in the UK. I know a lot of my viewers are from the UK or America, or Australia, like a few hours as well. So, you know, if you split the time between the two, I think that's a good alternative, and a real nice kind of mixture of climates, mixture of cultures. You're not going to get bored of one place. By the time you get bored, you're moving on to the next place, and, you know, split between the two countries. Financially, yes, it's more money for sure. But I know some of you guys are on good pensions, you know, so maybe you can afford it. Maybe you can afford to keep your own house. Maybe you already got your own house back in the UK and you're just renting it out. I don't know. Everyone's in different situations with the money. I think if your finances allow it, if my finances allowed it, I would definitely, you know, have a house in the UK and a house in Thailand and split my time between the two. Now, after living in Thailand for so long, for sure I would do that 100%. I've probably changed a little bit since I've been living here, you know, 12 years. I think people do change, you know, you're constantly changing what you want. Yeah, everyone's different what they want. So I hope this has helped you out today, guys. Just another alternative.